to extend the term of office of the president from 4 years to 5 years.
Final funeral rites of Apostle Kwejo Safo Cananka held despite court injunction.
People from all walks of life, including the church members, north, east, west, they are all here to at least pay the last respect to Apostle Kwejo Safo. So we are most grateful to all Ghanaians. We know most people who attend tomorrow at the end.
Later in the bulletin, Attorney General and Minister of Justice files application to halt Court of Appeal judgment setting Atamako free. In Channel 1 Business. Channel 1 market price barometer shows reduction in prices of major building materials. In Channel 1 Sports. UEFA threatens to boycott FIFA tournament after proposal to sell off stake in World Cup goes ahead. In our first story, 11 children have been injured, with some in critical condition following an accident that occurred on the Accra Mall to the Jolu stretch of the N1 highway. While eyewitnesses say a tipper truck ran into a school bus with pupils. Preliminary investigations from the Ghana National Fire Service indicates that a tipper driver negotiated a wrong overtaking, which compelled it to crash into the stationary school bus. This morning, the following report by Jenny Fanati.
The incident occurred about 2 p.m. on Thursday when a tipper truck with registration number GN9673-2025 crashed into a school bus reportedly belonging to Ask God Preparatory School. According to witnesses, the school bus carrying 11 children had stopped in the middle lane to drop off some pupils when the tipper truck, which was allegedly experiencing brake failure, rammed into the rear of the bus.
And people will be a drop on the fear coin. But you know, back here, no, didn't say, Kaka say, free, yeah. No. I don't know money, Pana woman be sister. I just
The school bus driver was spared as he had stepped out of the vehicle to assist some pupils in crossing the road at the time of the crash. The driver of the tipper truck, however, reportedly fled the scene after the accident.
I just see the school bus always is coming to park there. So several times we are talking to you, the place is parking is not correct. It's not right. So just come back there and drop the other students to cross the road. So before to cross the road, end of the some minutes, they will just hear noise. When we turn, we see the trailer truck just take the car.
The injured pupils were rushed from the bus and transported to the 37 Military Hospital and the Police Hospital for medical examination and treatment. A member of the Public Relations Department of the Ghana National Fire Service, King Alex Nati, says no fatality has been recorded.
At the 37 Military Hospital, they had about 10 of these kids over there who were responding to treatment. About 2 of them were in quite a critical condition. One had a head avulsion, a deep cut on the head. Another girl also had a deep cut on the thigh. But other than that, the rest were in stable condition. One was also in a very critical condition at the police hospital. She's currently at the ICU in the police hospital, and doctors are working tirelessly to make sure that they stabilize her condition.
And the children and families of the 8 who lost their lives in last year's military helicopter crash have officially received government's compensation and support packages. Other packages include statutory compensation, comprehensive health insurance, and a children's support fund, under which 13 trust accounts, which seeded with 1 million cedis as Stanbic Bank, have been established for the minor children of the deceased. There's more in this report. On August 6, 2025, Ghana was thrown into mourning when a military helicopter crash claimed the lives of 8 persons, including government officials and officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. In the aftermath of the tragedy, government pledged to stand by the bereaved families through immediate relief and long-term support. That commitment saw interim monthly allowances paid to the widows, while statutory compensation were initiated in accordance with the law.
The Accra Circuit Court, acting under the Workmen's Compensation Act 1963, Act 174, awarded a total compensation package of 13,872,962.40 pesos to the dependents of our 4 civilian officials who lost their lives in the tragedy. Similarly, in accordance with the Armed Forces Regulation 1992, LI 1546, compensation packages have been processed for the families of our fallen military personnel. Today, government formally hands over these compensation packages to the respective families.
The beneficiaries expressed appreciation to government and organizations whose contributions have helped provide lasting support.
Since the passing of all our loved ones, your continued love, kindness, and unwavering support has brought us immense comfort in this very, very difficult time. We are deeply touched by this gesture and will forever hold it in our hearts. Assam Kushun, Mr. President.
And scores of people have been displaced following a demolition exercise by the Asokore Mampong Municipal Assembly at an enclave in Sabon Zongo in the Ashanti region. The Assembly says the exercise was necessary after persistent complaints about rising crime in the area. Channel 1 News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani, reports.
The decision follows heightened security concerns after the lynching of a 27-year-old man accused of stealing 4,800 Ghana cedis and the discovery of the body of an unidentified young man. The Assembly says it gave prior notice to residents, including cattle rearers, mechanics, and traders, before the demolition. Some occupants removed their structures ahead of Thursday deadline, but excavators proceeded to pull down the remaining structures as residents worked.
Volunteers for Enakoche boys now, I see what we are scano. And I'm on the ball and also the bone. And unfortunately, we are so I need it. You cry a boy, Ecoche, Nipa Bear Tray. Police and you, we are a chief department at the police station. And some is actually 2 at the police station. The only matter I say, I can't be there.
I'm a mobile car, sir. Yeah, I'm still her, Obian Fira. So I know today, no more share say, your mamma 2 weeks. 2 weeks now, more than my no, I don't do it. 3 days in a net. Or mobile, and no, my baby now to say, and ne, or mobile bar. Our baby, you know, man, Obian, you go so, Miss Me, a bit dear. Me, name baby, I'm a fan. You one or more as a great and upper warrior. And say, my children, no man, they appear, I'm making a hole, a home at a time with the other to me.
Armed police and military officers were deployed to provide security and maintain order as the Assembly demolished what it describes as a criminal hideout.
The authorities of the Asokore Mampong Municipal Assembly say they will continue with this demolition exercise until the purpose is achieved. Hafiz Tijani, Channel 1 News, Sabon Zongo, Ashanti region.
Now let's take you up north because preparations have been completed for the installation of the Regent of Dagbon, scheduled for Friday, July 31 at the Gbewa Palace in Yendi. Kampakuya Na will officially assume responsibility for the Dagbon kingdom following the death of the late Yana. While the Islamic funeral rites concluded earlier this week, Friday's ceremony marks the beginning of the traditional Dagbon funeral rites. Chairman of the Protocol Committee, Chief Lamashena, says all arrangements have been finalized for the event.
We are pleading to Dagbon chiefs attending this funeral, all to be seated by 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Please, if you are a Dagbon chief and you stay home and come after 2:30, you will not be allowed entry because the president will have been seated. Possibly the Campo Quena will have been outdoor. So what are you coming again to do? They will not allow you. So all chiefs who are under the umbrella of the Yana must be seated by 2 p.m. That is the second thing. And then the Dondo Bitters, the Namona, that means the custodian of the Dondo Bitters, will organize a good number of them to do their traditional beating. Those outside, nobody will be allowed to come into the oval. The security will not allow you. You can stay outside and be disturbing, but moving into the oval, they will not be allowed unless those selected by what? The Namona and then the Yambana.
The funeral of the founder and leader of Christo Asafo Mission and Cananka Automobile, Apostle Dr. Kwejo Safo Cananka, has gone ahead despite a court order restraining the ceremony. The event drew thousands of church members from across the country, as well as traditional leaders, dignitaries, and also family members. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado reports from Gomwa in Poto, where the funeral was held.
Despite the 10-day interim court injunction restraining this particular event, some family members, as well as leadership and members of the Christo Asafo Mission, have proceeded to hold this funeral ceremony in honor of the late Apostle Kwejo Safo Cananka. And so we are here to bring to you the proceedings from the funeral grounds here in Gomwa in the Central Region. And so some family members called on all parties to be calm and peaceful to ensure that they're able to have a befitting funeral ceremony for the late apostle.
People from all walks of life, including the church members, north, east, west, they are all here to at least pay the last respect to Apostle Kwejo Safo. So we are most grateful to all Ghanaians. We know most people who attend tomorrow at the Independence Square.
The demise of Apostle Kwejo Safo Cananka has not eroded the faith and belief some members of the church had in him. They still trust and believe that he would continue to grant and then perform miracles.
Being a series of reincarnation of Cananka, when we talk about Egypt, the pyramid, all the history about Egypt, it is about Cananka. He is the god for Africa. So he has been reincarnating. He has been doing this work for several countries. He will die, he will go here, he will come here, he will come here. That is Cananka we are talking about.
So this event has attracted the presence of both past and current notable state officials, and some of them have been expressing their thoughts on the turn of events here.
I was quite confused. I mean, looking at what we're seeing and hearing, especially on social media, and then when we go here, and it looked like the what was on the ground was different. I mean, there's so much peace, love. Apostle is someone we all revere and respect, somebody who has made so much impact. So the atmosphere is a misfeeling.
For family and members of the Christo Asafo Mission, a very deep void has been left as a result of the passing of the Apostle Kwejo Safo Cananka. For the Channel 1 Newsroom, I am Akwesiado, Gomwa Central Region.
The Court of Appeal has unanimously overturned a conviction and 10-year prison sentence imposed on former Masloc Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamaklo-Ationu, acquitting and discharging her of all charges after ruling that the prosecution failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt.
In a unanimous decision delivered on Thursday, a 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal held that the prosecution's evidence did not meet the legal threshold required to sustain the convictions against the former microfinance and small loan center chief executive. The panel, comprising Justices Emmanuel Ankama, Emmanuel Senyor Amedahe, and Samuel Obindiewo, criticized the approach adopted by the trial court, stating that the learned judge had lost sight of the constitutional principle that every accused person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The appellate court also raised concerns about the manner in which the prosecution conducted the case, concluding that the evidence presented fell short of establishing guilt beyond reasonable doubt. The court released full reasons for its decisions in a 94-page judgment on Thursday. Sedina Tamaklo Ationu was convicted by the High Court in April 2024, following a trial that began in January 2019. She was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment after being found guilty on multiple charges. She faced 78 counts, including stealing, conspiracy to steal, willfully causing financial loss to the state, causing loss to public property, improper payment of public funds, unauthorized commitment, and money laundering. The Court of Appeal has now set aside the judgment of the High Court, acquitting and discharging Sedina Tamaklo Ationu on all charges. Meanwhile, the Attorney General has served notice of an appeal to the Supreme Court and filed an application for a stay of execution of the Court of Appeal's judgment.
I am not doing this because I want to save face for either myself or the President of the Republic. I'm doing it based upon professional considerations and also on the advice of the excellent men and women who work with me at the Attorney General's Department. So we'll review the judgment. You will see the grounds of appeal, and I'm sure at that point in time we can all have a discussion as to whether or not the appeal has any merit.
Former Attorney General Godfred Yeboadame, under whose tenure the prosecution was concluded, has also publicly expressed disagreement with the Court of Appeal's decision.
It cannot be the case at all. You see the judgment of the High Court. Yes, Sednan actually absconded after she had actually been confronted with the evidence led by the prosecution. It was not for nothing. So I'm saying, find out from the current Attorney General, you know the kind of opposition that he mounted to the appeal? Or was there any opposition at all? I don't know. That's it.
Now, the minority in Parliament has been speaking on this. They've been criticizing the Court of Appeal's decision to acquit and discharge the former boss of Masloc, Sedina Tamaklo, questioning the fairness of the outcome and accusing the Mahama administration of pursuing a selective justice agenda. The lawmakers say the ruling vindicates their concerns about what they describe as the government's protection of its own while targeting opposition figures.
Court of Appeal on Thursday unanimously acquitted and discharged former boss of Masloc, Sedina Ationu Tamaklo, quashing her earlier conviction and 10-year sentence. The court held that the trial judge lost sight of the presumption of innocence until proven guilty, and that the prosecution failed to prove the charges against her beyond reasonable doubt. Now, some members of the minority caucus in Parliament have been reacting to this ruling by the Court of Appeal.
We are in the minority. We are not surprised because you know that this government was always going to protect its own and persecute the opposition party. So it's become clear. It is no longer a perception. It is a reality that the NDC government will always persecute NPP members and leave its people off the hook.
This is a clear evidence that the reset only meant a reset for the NDC. That's what it meant. At this point, what I am going to do is to appeal to the middle class who, for some reason, were angry with us that the MPP remains their home. They should come. Let's correct all our wrongs and build the MPP to meet their aspiration.
But what is the reaction of these lawmakers to the Attorney General's decision to appeal the Court of Appeal's ruling acquitting and discharging the former Masloc boss, Sedina Ationu Tamaklo.
You and I know that there is no way he's going to be committed to a strong appeal process that will lead to a possible conviction of one of their own.
I have no faith in that appeal because I know that they are not going to put any serious fight. It's just political gimmickry, if you ask me. I think that they want the people of Ghana to know that they're doing something about it. Mark my words. The woman is going to walk free. She's not going to suffer any punishment for what she did. It tells us one thing, that in this country, our fight against corruption is just on the face value.
With Parliament expected to rise on Friday, July 31, 2026, the Speaker, Alban Dagbon, has assured that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, popularly known as the Anti-LGBT Bill, will be reconsidered by the House and passed again for onward transmission to the President for his assent. He made this assurance during a courtesy call on the Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharabutu. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Parliament, I am Ni Ayukweyi Okai.
A former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament and former NPP Chairman Freddie Blay has described as unrealistic calls to allow all members of political parties to participate in presidential and parliamentary elections. His comments follow a Supreme Court ruling to that effect and the government's proposal to amend the Constitution to make it possible. Speaking to Channel 1 News' Hansen Ajiman, the private legal practitioner also argued that the Constitution Review Committee should have recommended the removal of the Constitution's indemnity clauses.
But to me, one of the main proposals that should have even occupied their should have preoccupied them was the issue of the indemnity clauses. They were silent on it.
You think that we need to go back to that?
Absolutely. Indemnity, why do you indemnify others?
Haven't the country moved on?
But I'm saying for the country to move on, this is a fetter. It drags us down. It even makes it possible for adventurers and co who wants to change things without resorting to the Constitution, that they could also do it always and come up and then clothe themselves with.
Want those who did the past coups to be prosecuted?
Not necessarily. You must lift it so that future adventurers may also not end up overthrow the Constitution and clothe themselves with the meaning.
Let's talk about political parties. And the government is saying that they've accepted a recommendation to amend Article 55 of the Constitution, such that political parties will have to allow all card-bearing members to vote in presidential and parliamentary primaries to elect presidential and parliamentary candidates. This ties into what the Supreme Court yesterday ruled on. It looks like the nation is thinking in one direction.
I'm not sure the country is thinking in one direction. Not all of us, those who have been involved in the political party organizations.
We have a constitutional review committee that says, let's do this. Coincidentally, the Supreme Court is thinking that way. That actually is a dictate of our constitution.
Well, that's what they've said. That's party groups or political parties association that freely people adhere to or associate with, and they have their own regulations, their own constitutions. And I think there had been one argument is that it should be in accord with the national constitution and should organize itself democratically and co. Of course, have a lot of interpretation as to what you mean by your own democracy, idea of democracy. But some people are making laws for parties that they themselves have never been involved, and they don't appreciate its nuances and its workings. The architecture of party in this country, I'm talking about mainly even the dominant group like MPP and NDC, a lot goes into it.
Praising the principle that needs that we need everybody who is a card-bearing member in good standing to vote again to prevent corruption. We see delegate elections, people paying huge sums of money. This is good for our democracy.
What do you mean by every member voting itself? That's not per se stops corruption. It will not.
Can somebody pay for 5 million MPP members?
Let me finish. I'm saying per se doesn't stop corruption. MPP used to only have a few representative voting at such gathering for party leadership and then for presidential candidates and co. That was the reason why we thought it could be expanded sometime a few years ago. If there is corruption, if you call it, or if the influence go, nothing has changed by that much. And I believe it's the same thing with NDC. NDC started it even saying people say, even then, before they could realize, they say it's been infiltrated. MPP members of the various communities have turned themselves to be members of NDC and taking part in their vote. But there are fundamental issues that has to do with it unless you are involved in it. Gathering people, bringing them together, printing ballot papers, convening them to come and vote, and it involves resources.
Can we find less expensive ways of doing these things? I mean, the world has advanced. We don't need to all gather at one place.
It's easy to talk up, to see the problem, but it's not easy to come up with the solutions. At every stage of organizing people to participate in the activities of a party, or more so in the activity of elections, it involves resources. And many people down the ladder, those who are, you call them, sometimes people call them grassroots, the base, may not even have the money to do that.
This is still the Channel 1 Newsroom and Channel 1 Television, still to come. Channel 1 Market Price Barometer shows reduction in prices of major building materials. We have the details for you and many others. Do stay.
The best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious. Lizzie Shito, hot pepper sauce, spicy. Lizzie Shito, the Shito is Shito. Lizzie Shito, over
Lizzie Shito, please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzie Shito, dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy. Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy.
For bulk purchase, kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
As the sun rises over the city of Accra, its warm glow settles on one of the city's most thoughtfully planned communities, Lakeside Estate. And once again, something exceptional is unfolding. After the successful sale of our 4-bedroom Orca at Lakeside Hills, a new masterpiece is about to make its debut. An exquisite 4-bedroom story Orca home overlooking a breathtaking landscape of the Abri Mountains. This remarkable home now features a total floor area of 330 square meters, set on a generous 7,140 square foot plot. Step inside and you're welcomed by a spacious foyer leading to an open living and dining area, paired with a modern fitted kitchen with a stylish island crafted for the ultimate cooking experience. On the first floor, family living takes center stage. Spend quality time together and enjoy the convenience of a newly added infinite kitchenette, perfect for warming up your coffee or tea. For our esteemed homeowners who value privacy and productivity, a dedicated study area has been beautifully integrated into the design. This new home is a testament to trust, craftsmanship, and modern living. A space where elegance, comfort, and style come together effortlessly. Book your spot today by calling our sales expert on 020-477-5040 or 020-477-5042. Lakeside Estate, quality homes for all.
Many thanks for staying with us on the Channel One Newsroom. Up next is Channel One Business with Shika Caesar.
Channel One Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Hello? I understand your momo ready.
Oh! I go here. Start Joshua.
There comes the time when money matters get tricky. When paying back feels hard, we get creative. But here's a beautiful fact. Every time you pay back, you keep the line going. You make space for someone else. So don't break the chain. From Quick Loan and Smart Loan to Extra Cash, Easy Cash, Agent Flex, Ahomka Loan, Express Loan, Busia Loan, and many more. It's all in your Momo app when you need it. Borrow, sort down, pay back.
Momo.
Because when you do, Momo Day for everybody.
And they're all looking, I'm short of words, but she comes here to give us some exciting news.
Yes,
okay.
I come bearing good news today from the construction sector. It appears prices of materials have gone down.
Okay, please bring us the details.
Right. Now, the cost of several key construction materials have declined per the Construction and Small Business Input Basket of the Channel One Market Price Barometer. Prices for cement, iron rods, paints and plywood all fell during the period, signaling a moderation in building input costs after months of elevated prices. Here is more from the barometer. That was data compiled by the Channel One TV Research Desk under the Channel One Market Price Barometer, tracking price movements across Accra. And now in the studio, I have with me Ni Lati to give us more insights on the prices of the construction. Yeah. Now, Ni, I'm sure this comes as welcome news for people, the stakeholders within the construction industry, as well as individuals who are trying to build houses or whatever construction projects.
Yes, indeed. They are very happy people, because if you look at our construction and small business input basket, you see the Green Army taking over. And the Green Army, I mean price reduction. So you see the signs going down for almost everything in this particular basket. If it didn't drop, then it stayed stable or even saw an upward adjustment, which is marginal. So let's get into it now and then begin with those that recorded price reductions. And let's begin with local cement, which I say is the main man here. So if you look at the 32.5 hour for the month of June, it was 105 Ghana cedis. This month, 96 Ghana cedis. So that's some 8.57% reduction, almost 9% there. Yeah. Local cements 42.5 are also same from 115 to 109, also some 5% reduction there. Iron rod, same here. Very significant reduction from 7,700 Ghana cedis per ton to 7,050 Ghana cedis per ton. Same as plywood and also paint. For the 4.5 liters of paint, you realize that it dropped from 77 Ghana cedis to 74 Ghana cedis. Plywood from 104 Ghana cedis, 100 Ghana cedis. So if you are in the construction and small business industry, this should come as welcoming news to you. So let's look at the one that didn't drop but also went up, and that was nails. From 30 Ghana cedis 1 inch the kilogram, I must say, to 32 Ghana cedis. So it went up, but it was quite marginal, like I was saying. So just a difference of 2 Ghana cedis in there. But for some others that didn't record any price change, we can have them now and then look at that particular product as well in the construction and small business input basket. I'm talking about the rough sand and also the smooth sand, the double axle. So that stayed flat, 2,700 Ghana cedis for last month. Same 2,700 Ghana cedis for this month as well. For the smooth sand, the double axle, also 3,500 Ghana cedis. This month, we are also looking at the same 3,500 Ghana cedis. So that is what the picture looks like when it comes to the construction and small input baskets for this month.
Right. Do we know what is driving these price reductions?
Indeed, generally what we have observed is that when it comes to construction and building materials, 2 factors come to play in here. And these 2 factors, one, we can talk about the individual profit margin of the sellers or retailers, and also prevailing market conditions. And when I say prevailing market conditions, I'm talking about, the decision of manufacturers to either reduce or increase prices. So for this month, what we are gleaning from the data that we have is that we saw a reduction in ex-factory prices for most of the items in here. However, there are some factors that also, come up when it comes to the delivery and even the brand of, the product that you are looking at. If you remember last month when we issued this particular project, we realized that a lot of people were talking about the prices of the cement that we had. But we are not here to promote any particular brand. But what we can say is that we are likely to get, cement pricing way below the kind of pricing that we have here, just because of the brand that you are looking at. You can also get it higher than what we have here because of the brand that we are looking at. But what traders are telling us is that sometimes they also have to look at the market and also reduce prices just to stimulate sales. So you see that there are reductions, but it does not necessarily mean that that is going to be uniform at the retail side of things. So you may see brand, you may see distance. So for example, if you take the sand, for example, you realize that depending on where you are getting the sand from and where it is being sent to, there's some form of price variations in there. So you are not going to say that because there are reductions, it is cutting across everywhere on the market. So that also comes to play. You can also talk about, the decision of the retailers, whether to have huge profit margins or even low profit margins. So all of these factors come to play really And so that is why we are seeing some of the prices coming down significantly, just because they want to stimulate sales, and also manufacturers doing some good job in there to ensure that a lot of people will have some relief when it comes to the building and construction of several projects that they are undertaking. But finally, before I go, I'm sure you want to know what is going to happen next, or even what we have done throughout this week. So if you look at what we did on Monday with the household food staples, you realize that we saw a lot of pressures, price pressures with regards to tomatoes, for example. Yesterday, I was here telling you about the transport and energy sector, and I think it is the most interesting basket we should be looking out for next month. This is the reason, because you already have fuel prices also going up, and transport unions are also threatening to ensure that they have some price, upward adjustment when it comes to transport fare. And should that happen, all of these items that we are talking about in our Channel 1 market price barometer, we can see significant price pressures, because transportation is a significant component when it comes to price, setting.
Right. Neela Silati, thank you so much for that. Let's move away from that and do some other stories now. Danex Ayrton Starwind PLC posted a stronger top-line performance in 2025, with profits after tax rising to 14.65 million Ghana cedis from 10.14 million cedis in the previous year, supported by improved operational efficiency and cost controls. Here's more.
The indigenous pharmaceutical company maintains that the industry has remained resilient with an optimistic outlook for 2026. Speaking on behalf of the board chair, Board Secretary Kwesi Austin highlighted key performance gains recorded in 2025.
The company recorded a resilient performance in 2025 financial year, despite a challenging operating environment marked by tight liquidity and high financial costs, as well as regulatory pressures. Focus on operational efficiency, cost management, strategic pricing, and strong sales performance supported continued growth. Revenue increased to 189 million, up from 173 million in 2024, driven by volume growth and improved market demand.
On the sidelines of the AGM, Chief Executive Officer of the company, Daniel Apieje-Kisi, said the company is looking to enhance sales and cash generation as it positions for further growth.
Which is basically the quantity of products that we sell, and also to drive cost optimization measures to keep the cost of our operations down. The projections going forward is to continue to do that, but like I said, we are focusing on liquidity because we need to improve our cash delivery, because there's a lot of investment that we have to make, particularly on the compliance side.
Let's bring you an update on crude oil prices and how the local currency is performing on the interbank markets. And that's all for Channel 1 Business. I am Nashika Caesar. Akusha, back to you.
Thank you, as always, bringing us update from the world of business. Let's do some other stories. The government has accepted a major recommendation of the Constitutional Review Committee to extend the tenure of the President and members of Parliament from 4 years to 5 years. Attorney General and Minister for Justice Dominic Ayine announced the decision while presenting the government's white paper on the committee's recommendations. He said the proposal is aimed at giving governments adequate time to implement and assess their policies before seeking a fresh mandate from the electorate. There's more in this report by Channel 1 News' Fauzu Masawudu.
The H. Kwesi Prempeh-led Constitution Review Committee submitted its final report to the President in December 2025, outlining wide-ranging proposals on governance, constitutional reforms, and the protection of human rights. Presenting the government's white paper, Attorney General Dominic Ayine announced that government has accepted several of the committee's key recommendations, including a proposal to extend the tenure of the President from 4 years to 5 years.
The government has accepted a recommendation to extend the term of office of the President from 4 years to 5 years, with a term of Parliament extended to correspond with this. A 5-year term provides a more realistic time frame for the formulation, implementation, and assessment of government policy.
Government has also accepted a recommendation to allow Ghanaians with dual citizenship to hold public office, with the exception of the offices of the President and the Vice President.
A citizen of Ghana by birth who holds the citizenship of another country will no longer be barred from contesting for election to Parliament only on account of his or her dual citizenship, and will not be required to renounce the other citizenship. The current disqualification sits uneasily with our engagement with the diaspora and with the realities of modern citizenship.
In another significant reform, government endorsed the proposal to separate the office of the Attorney General from the Ministry of Justice.
Now, the government proposes that Article 88 be amended to remove the requirement that the Attorney General be a Minister of State. A separate portfolio of Minister of Justice will be established to oversee the justice sector, the justice and legal sector. The Attorney General will remain the principal legal advisor of the Republic and the repository of the prosecutorial authority of state, but will cease to be a Minister of State and a member of Cabinet.
This is still the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Still to come. UEFA threatens to boycott FIFA tournament after proposal to sell off stake in World Cup goes ahead. We have the details for you shortly. Do stay.
Imagine a life where every moment flows effortlessly, where every choice brings you closer to the life you've always wanted. Give yourself more ways to receive joy. Have more time to party. With G-Money, every moment flows seamlessly. Just pay and keep the good vibes going. Instantly top up airtime or data so you never miss life's special moments, because your memories together should matter more. Give yourself more freedom to celebrate. Pay bills quickly and seamlessly so nothing disrupts your moments. Have more financial control. With G-Money, you can effortlessly manage bulk payments and keep your business running smoothly. Dial *488# or download the app and explore the new G-Money today. G-Money. Give yourself more.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Miss your friend Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Miss your friend me once now.
Hey, is that you?
Improve car.
Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Sasso spray, Miss your friend is Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my
Sasso, come on, Tom Preco.
is the old way. Let me show you a new and a better way. EduPark. EduPark? Yes, EduPark. A GS-approved and supported initiative for all first-year students going to SHS. By Prospectus Ghana Limited. Now you don't need to go to the market. All your trunks, mattresses, pillows, including plastic chalkboards, are all waiting for your child at the school. Note, all our wooden chalkboards are being changed to plastic ones to avoid bedbugs.
You can also register by dialing *713*821# following the prompts, or you can visit www.eduparkgh.com and tap register. You can also register at any ADB branch near you at a very affordable price. EduPark, approved and supported by GES.
Thank you for staying with me on the Channel One Newsroom. Up next, we have Channel One Sports with Yao Ejimenta. Yao, thank you for joining me. Bring me updates from the world of sports.
Will do. Now, UEFA will boycott FIFA tournaments if President Gianni Infantino goes ahead with his proposal to sell off a stake in the World Cup. The decision was taken at an emergency meeting of all UEFA's 55 member associations on Thursday afternoon, with a 55-0 vote in favor of the decision to potentially boycott the World Cup. In a statement released on Thursday afternoon, UEFA said, and I quote, "We unanimously and unequivocally reject FIFA's proposal to transfer ownership interest in the World Cup and other FIFA competitions to private investors," end quote. To the Commonwealth Games, and Ghana's Joseph Paul Amoah kept Ghana's gold medal hopes alive at the 2026 Commonwealth Games by booking a place in the men's 200 meters final with a season's best performance in Thursday's semi-finals in Glasgow.
I've been preaching round by round. We're done with the first round, semi-finals, and I had a pretty tough lane draw. I didn't think I was going to get lane 3, but I had to psych myself up when the lanes came out that I had to put myself in a good position going into the finals. If I wanted to make the finals, I had to put myself in a good position going into the straightaway. So I think I did a pretty good execution. I might have to clean up a few stuff going into the finals. He feels like he feels like he's supposed to be here, and we know he's supposed to be here because he's a national record holder, and he's the only person to run a League of 19 for Ghana. So he's someone that we're very happy to have back on the team, and we are hoping that the season's coming up, he'll be able to stay, injury-free, train harder, stay strong, and then come out here and compete again.
Now to the next story, and Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has demanded excellence to be the standard of the Gunners ahead of the 2026-2027 season. Now the Gunners won the Premier League title for the first time in 22 years last season, edging Manchester City to the trophy ahead of the final game of the campaign. Here is Arteta.
Very refreshed, energy back to the highest level. Really enthusiastic about what is coming, and great to see everybody again with the same spirit after such a big season. To see everybody coming back in the building with such an energy and desire to go again is really touching. 100%. This has to be the start, and this has to be the standard, and excellence has to be our standard, and this has to drive to attack the future and the way we behave daily with more and more determination and ambition.
Now, before I go, the bodies behind the Commonwealth Games updates are the Ghana Commercial Bank and the Hope brand. For sports, my name is Yao Ejimenta, and over to you.
Yao. Thank you, Yao, for that update from the world of sports. And that's how we wrap up this edition of the Channel One Newsroom on Channel One Television. I'm Akosia Oche. Thank you for watching.
you.